Well, good evening there, guys. My name is Bob, and welcome to the Imaginary Conflicts channel. And today we're going to be doing a video on those problem projects, and you know the ones. These are the projects that you set yourself. I'm going to paint this regiment, I'm going to paint this army, I'm going to paint this miniature or piece of terrain, and it just gets in the way and it sticks like something in your throat. You cannot get rid of it, you cannot get through it, and you really come to an end that it really can affect your hobby. And so I encountered this problem myself with those Royal Ghepsmark Infantry, which I'm sure that you're all bored of seeing by now. And I figured that the best thing to do would be to reach out to a friend of mine who's an artist to see what she had to say on dealing with problem projects in the art world. I mentioned this already in my January channel update, but I figured that it would be better to do a whole video on it. So you're going to see some footage in the background of me actually finishing and applying the finishing touches to those Royal Ghepsmark Infantry. So before we get into this, I just want to quickly say that this might not work for you. I've got some different bits of advice here. It might not be to your taste, it might not be your thing. But these are the ideas that were brought before me, and so I'm going to introduce them to you. So the first one that I was recommended is to pick a morning to wake up early and then work on your project for an hour before you do anything else. Maybe have some breakfast and a cup of tea, but nothing else before that. And so I'm told that the best way to do that is if you wake up earlier than you usually do. You can be fresh to face the day, you've already made progress before you even walk out the door, and you can start your day on a high. I will admit this one doesn't work quite so well for me. I am not an early riser, but if you're one of those people who can get up and go in the morning without looking like a zombie for the first 2 hours of the day, then by all means, give this one a shot. It might be something that you like. And yeah, so waking up early, picking a morning to do that, it could be something for you. The second one that we have here is to look at other people's projects for inspiration. Now, we are blessed that on YouTube we have a lovely little community of wargamers who constantly are cranking out absolutely wonderful material. And I've got to say that seeing other people's projects for me is a massive inspiration, and that's one of the reasons why I quite often spend a considerable amount of time every Monday night watching the Plastic Crack podcast with the guys from those different YouTube channels there, because the stuff that they work on every week I find very inspiring and it encourages me to paint along with them. So that's the second option that you could do. That's painting alongside other people's inspiration, being inspired by other people, stealing their ideas perhaps, but then also just being encouraged by the fact that other people are trying to paint and get on just the same as you are. And that leads us onto our third point, and this may be something that's more common knowledge to everyone, but it's actually something that I don't do very often. And it suddenly made me realise that I needed to do something about it. And that is putting on some good music while you paint. And now, I don't know what your music taste is. Your music taste may well be different to mine. I may not like your music and you may not like my music. I mean, in fact, the latter's probably more likely. But putting on some good music and just getting into the zone while you paint is quite a nice way to make a couple of hours pass. And so it's probably going to be something that I pick up more on in the future. But if it's something that you don't do, stick on your favourite CD, or I suppose that's a bit dated now, put on your favourite Spotify playlist and just wade on into it and see what happens. And then the final piece of advice that we have is it's dangerous, it's a risky one. It's starting another project and then coming back to your problem project later. Now, like I say, this is dangerous, this is risky. What if you never restart your problem project? What if your next project that you did to get away from your problem project becomes another problem project? You've got to be careful when you're doing this and only do little bits. Now, I did two. One of them was assembling the Royal Confederate Constabulary, and the other one, which is what you can see here, is just trying and throwing some colours down on miniatures to get a flavour for a very British Civil War force. Well then guys, that's the size of it. Those are the words of pearl that I was given by a professional artist on what to do when you encounter a problem project. Now, what you'll also see in the background is the final wash being put on the Royal Ghepsmark Infantry. I've retroactively decided that they are reserve line infantry units wearing outdated pieces of uniform, which is basically a nice way for me to get around ever having to paint Napoleonic uniforms again. But so that's the end of this video. What I'm going to do is close out this video with a couple of pictures of the Royal Ghepsmark Infantry fully painted and based in a little bit of a diorama against my skeleton warriors that I painted a few months ago. And on that note, I'll leave you. I hope that you guys have wonderful days, and if I don't see you again soon, I hope that you keep well. I'm going to try and crank out a couple more videos this week, including a long overdue What's on the Table. So until next time guys, it's been a blast, have fun, God bless, cheers!